A low Earth orbit satellite passes every 90 minutes, snaps imagery, and beams targeting data down in near real time. Within 15 minutes, a missile battery has fired. A warhead screaming at Mach 5 to Mach 10, 1.7 to 3.4 kilometers per second, is already inbound. Repair crews need hours, sometimes half a day, to patch one crater. By then, sortie rhythm is dead. China has engineered this as doctrine. The DF-17 hypersonic glider ranges 1,800 to 2,500 kilometers at Mach 5 to 10. The DF-21D stretches around 1,450 kilometers and maneuvers in terminal phase. The DF-26 extends to 2,500 to 5,000 kilometers, with a circular error probability of about 100 meters. This family of weapons gives Beijing the ability to saturate Pacific bases and naval groups alike. Each missile costs roughly $10 to $15 million, a bargain compared to the $100 million plus it takes Washington to harden and repair a single runway. That's budget math that would make Elon blush. Russia's not trailing. The 3M-22 Zircon hypersonic cruise missile flies at Mach 9 over approximately 1,000 kilometers, submarine or ship-launched. Stealth fast, agile, hard to intercept. Then there's the Avangard HGV, Mach 20 to 27 glide vehicle, delivering kinetic energy equivalent to 21 tons of TNT. Russia also fields loitering munitions and glide bombs that hug terrain, evade radars, and wait for runway crews to finish coffee. Combine that with smart saturation, cruise, ballistic, glide, loitering, all layered with electronic attack. Russia uses electronic warfare to blind radars and jam communications while sending swarms of loitering drones into airfield airspace. Ukraine's already shown it. Iskanders hitting runways, glide bombs penetrating defenses, drones shadowing repair crews into breaking point. The economics sting. One DF-17 costs maybe $10 to $15 million. One American runway repair kit? Who knows? Probably $100 million once it's been through 3 committees, or another wave's Space Force hats, while bragging about invisible planes. The Pentagon bleeds billions to patch holes faster than adversaries can make them. Everyone loves a ribbon-cutting ceremony at a shiny airbase, until that base is the first smoking hole on CNN. Then suddenly it's, why didn't we invest in mobility? Good luck explaining to taxpayers that the $13 billion carrier or the $100 billion bomber fleet can't launch because the runway cracked in half an hour. Environment laughs too. Desert dust clogs engines. Steppe heat buckles pavement. Arctic frost shatters concrete like glass. Nature doesn't care about defense budgets. She doesn't care if Lockheed Martin swears the new sealant will hold. Out there, concrete loses every time. And here's the brutal line that no meme can soften. Mobility is armor. Dispersion equals air superiority. A runway that refuses to sit still cannot be cratered. A dispersed fleet cannot be blinded with one salvo. A moving land carrier turns the enemy's trillion-dollar hypersonic arsenal into a punchline. Imagine burning a $20 million missile just to hit a sand dune. If America clings to fixed bases, day one goes to China or Russia. And day one may be the only day that matters. Why we don't already have a giant land ship? The concept of a land carrier isn't science fiction. It's rooted in ambition. In the interwar years, military theorists sketched land battleships, but physics refused to cooperate. Suspension systems collapsed, ground pressure sank them into mud, and engines couldn't push them faster than a crawl. Fuel consumption would have been insane. The dream was big, but the logistics were bigger. NASA's Crawler Transporter 2 is the only real-world giant on tracks. It's 2,700 metric tons, roughly the same as a Ford-class supercarrier's flight deck section. It tops out at 1 mile per hour under load, 2 miles per hour if you let it sprint, and drinks diesel like a fire hose, about 150 gallons per mile. It's the world's slowest Ferrari, a marvel to move rockets, but completely unsuitable for combat mobility. But the times have changed. Electric or hybrid electric drive slashes fuel intake and thermal signature. Micro-reactors could produce megawatts of energy on board, reducing or even eliminating diesel consumption for hotel load systems and weapons. Autonomy minimizes crew size, no human lives confined in the steel beast. Software, digital twins, and swarm control systems turn track layout into variable patterns instead of predictable routes. Directed energy defenses and active camouflage can shrink the target window. A modern land carrier doesn't need ridiculous fuel or impossible suspension. It needs advanced materials, smart energy, and networked awareness. To build one today, we'd need far more than ambition. We'd need breakthroughs in power density, mobility, autonomy, and battlefield networks. We're not there yet, but we're closer than ever. What if we have it? The desert carrier. Start with the hull. A crawler core stretched wider than a football field rides on modular tracked bogies. Each bogie carries its own suspension and electric drive, spreading weight so the ground pressure is no worse than a main battle tank. That's how a 20,000+ ton platform rolls across dunes without sinking. Not fast, but relentless. A runway that refuses to stay in one place. Power is the unlock. Diesel alone would choke the concept in fuel convoys. Hybrid electric drives buy efficiency today. High-output diesels running generators, batteries for peak loads, and fuel cells for silent hotel mode. Tomorrow, microreactors do the heavy lifting. 1 to 5 megawatts packed into 4 20-foot ISO containers. That's continuous juice for sensors, comms, drone charging, and directed energy weapons. The Pentagon's Project Pele already prototypes reactors in this class. For a land carrier, that's the difference between impossible and inevitable. On the deck, 6 VTOL pads for combat drones and 2 tilt rotor spots for unmanned resupply. Elevators drop into dust-sealed hangars where racks of drones, munitions, and fuel sit under cyclone separators and air curtains. Every detail fights heat and grit. Forget F-35s. This is a Hive. Scouts, shooters, jammers, lifters, all smaller, cheaper, quicker to turn. The air wing gives it reach. Strike Scouts like XQ-58 Valkyries fly thousands of nautical miles. Medium UAS in the MQ-1 CER class hold 25-hour patrols, 4 airborne at all times. Loitering munitions like Switchblade 600s stalk armor from 40 kilometers out for 40+ minutes. Tilt rotors shuttle resupply and batteries. The carrier doesn't try to be a Nimitz on tracks. It's a swarm hub. Sustained, modular, expendable. Sensors turn bulk into brains. An AESA mast sweeps, IRST domes scan, passive RF listens. The battle mesh links every drone in the sky to every weapon on the ground. Decoy emitters and spoofed heat trails scatter false signatures. To a satellite, the carrier looks like 5 vehicles in 5 different valleys. Defense stacks and layers. First, electronic warfare to blind seekers and fake emissions. Second, CIWS autocannons firing 4,500 rounds per minute, effective out to 1.5 kilometers. Third, directed energy. A 100 to 300 kilowatt laser grid burns drones in 2 to 3 seconds of dwell time. Each shot costs pocket change in electrons. That's how you force an enemy to spend millions per missile while you spend cents per kill. Now the math that matters. 6 pads turning drones every 15 minutes equals 24 launches per hour. Factor in friction, 75% utilization, and you still get 18 sorties per hour. Across a 12-hour high-tempo block, that's over 200 sorties. ISR, SEAD, EW, or strike. 4 medium UAS stay airborne for a full day, gluing the picture together. Loitering munitions launch and recover on a rolling cycle, keeping a knife edge 40 kilometers forward. Relocation keeps it alive. Every 4 to 6 hours, the carrier moves 20 to 40 kilometers, leaving false signatures behind. Pack, roll, reset in under an hour while the airborne stack keeps the fight covered. Over a full 24-hour day, you get 21 to 22 hours of tempo, 2 hops, and a swarm that never lands cold. Costs tell the story. A DF-17 hypersonic strike runs $10 to $15 million. A DF-26, the Guam killer, burns tens of millions per shot. Russia's Zircon or Caliber missiles live in the high 6 or low 7 figures each. America's runway repair bill? $100 million plus per cratered airfield. Now stack the land carrier's defense math. Laser kill, 20 cents worth of power. CIWS burst, $6,000 to $12,000. Loitering drone, a few $100,000 to delete a column. That's budget math that makes Elon blush. You're trading cents for millions. You're forcing adversaries to empty magazines, chasing a moving target that cost you almost nothing to defend. Magazine depth is the final edge. Lasers don't run out. As long as you've got electrons, you've got shots. CIWS reload during relocation pauses. Loitering racks restock from sealed bays. Medium UAS rotate launches, so 4 orbits stay glued overhead. One land carrier becomes a conveyor belt of sorties, sustained hour after hour, while the adversary wastes irreplaceable hypersonics to score hits on empty sand. This is what a real desert carrier looks like. Hull, power, deck, swarm, sensors, defense, hypersonics. All chained together into a system that lives on mobility and tempo. Every component already exists. What's missing is the will to bolt them together, lay down the tracks, and let it roll. Mobility is armor. Dispersion keeps air power alive. Against China's salvos of DF-17, DF-21D, and DF-26, and Russia's swarms of zircons, glide bombs, and loitering munitions, a fixed runway is a tombstone waiting for its date. A land carrier rewrites that script. It rolls beyond the satellite's eye, spawns drones faster than missiles can erase them, and forces Beijing and Moscow to bleed millions chasing sand while America keeps launching. And if you want to see that will take shape, you know what to do. Subscribe, drop a like, and stay locked in.